Good morning, Upper Six. So here we are, bullet point 5, roles and qualities of entrepreneurs setting up music events. So really interesting, loads to do here. So it could be small clubs, it could be great big events, it could be Glastonbury, it could be something at a student union, it could be anything. So it's difficult to cover all the case studies. So what I've done for you is going through these 3 documents that I asked you to download in the first video. There's loads of examples in here, especially the UK one. There's absolutely oodles of information in there. You can go in there, have a look to your heart's content. I've covered a couple of them in this video for you. And this is a common question that comes up. Students get confused between the roles and characteristics of entrepreneurs. So chief examiners like asking the question because it helps differentiate between the C grade students and the A grade students. So it's worthwhile exploring both of these, and we'll do one case study on each. I've not written any exam style answers for you, but we've pretty much presented an entire answer plus a bit in each of them. So make sure you've got hold of these 3 documents, use them, and in the age of AI, there's no excuse for not being able to trawl through these documents very quickly. It took me seconds to find these case studies, and then all I had to do was cross-reference them against the Edexcel spec, which is relatively simplistic in the day of AI. So here's our case study 1. We can't do this research thing really without mentioning Glastonbury. It is a massive success, and I didn't realise until reading about this that the first time Glastonbury was held, it was £1 per ticket to go to Glasgow. It's a bit different now, and I hope you're saving up for the summer if you can actually get a ticket, because they've probably already sold out because they are so good at their viral marketing. So Emily Davis or not even Davis, I do apologise, Emily, Eavis has played a crucial role in this. So loads of well-funded advance bookings. People are happy to give her the money in advance, and there's such demand for these because of the headline acts that they just sell out relatively instantly. So we've got lots of really well thought through promotions here, huge amounts of demand, basic PED, less sensitivity to price, just want to go to Glastonbury, and the rest is there. So if we look at this question, you can read through the case study if you want to pause through that. Assess the importance of 2 entrepreneurial roles carried out by Emily Eavis to the success of Glastonbury Festival. So its importance to the success of Glastonbury. And clearly 2 entrepreneurial roles, not characteristics. And we're linking that into success. So this is going to be tickets. This is going to be getting the money up front. This is going to be charging over 300 quid for a ticket from something that used to be £1 to go to. There's loads of success factors here. And what a lovely case study, which I'm sure we will do more of in class. So looking at those entrepreneurial roles from the Edexcel perspective, we know we've got creating and setting up a business, running and expanding, developing the business, innovation within the business, intrapreneurship, and that could be Emily, that could be her team, that could be anyone really, but we've only got information about Emily here. Anticipating the risk and uncertainty in a business, well, it's looking at those pestle factors that might influence your business and interpreting them and adapting them. These are the roles. Now we know what they are, we just need to dig stuff out of the case study to help us write our 8 marker in this case, and this could easily be a 10 marker. So if we think about it, we've got the anticipated risk and uncertainty is getting in the rolling ticket deposit system to ensure they've got stable cash flow. We've got the developing the appeal. Well, loads of diverse lineups, promoting gender balance is obviously in the case study. So this is changing to the environment of what the consumer wants. and are willing to pay over 300 quid a ticket to sleep in a muddy field. We've got this initiative, and Glastonbury has been criticised for obviously the amount of waste and leftover tents and all those sorts of things. So the model has evolved over time to be more environmentally friendly. This is a modern trend that lots of people care for, and also it saves them getting criticised. They've turned this into not so much a USP, but it is definitely a selling point for the festival, where before they were being overly critical. Very innovative within the business. And crisis management, pandemic was a bit of an issue, and they got through it. Okay, so there's lots of information here. When you're looking for these case studies this summer for paper 3, just write down your entrepreneurial roles, or write a definition at the beginning that actually encapsulates these entrepreneurial roles. Then go to the case study and find the evidence. You need to find 2 of them and you should be okay. I would have thought that unless it's a brand new festival, you're not really going to be talking about creating and setting up a business, unless it's like that past paper question that says, is creating and setting up a business the most important entrepreneurial role? Well, clearly, yes it is, no it isn't. And then think about the temporal nature of now the business has developed. Maybe running and expanding and developing the business is more important than setting it up because it's already set up. So it's comparing and contrasting them. So when you do a counter argument for the 2 entrepreneurial roles, you might want to, with this one, entrepreneurial role is important, however there might be other factors that are more important. Entrepreneurial role might not be the most important thing, however it might be under these certain situations. So we need balance in our answers, and remember your howevers need to be contextualized or you ain't getting the marks. Now if we look at the second one here, which is thinking about the entrepreneurial characteristics, this is a rework of a past paper question for, I believe, the Rolex case study from a couple of years ago. Assess the importance of creativity as a characteristic of an entrepreneur behind Boomtown Fair. I'd never heard of Boomtown Fair, clearly don't go to enough festivals. What a quirky, mad environment. Fantastic. So you've got this storytelling, theatrical approach, unique experience, all this differentiation language here in the fictional city where attendees become part of an evolving narrative across multiple themed districts. How cool does that sound? If you think about the visual aesthetics, the stage production, the interactive elements, all of this is creativity. So it's very easy to lift out the creativity here, but we need to think about the other characteristics. Is creativity important? Is it the most important? Is it just as important as the rest of them? Well, we need to compare and contrast here to other entrepreneurial characteristics. So again, according to the Edexcel spec, we've got risk taking, we've got resilience, decision making and problem solving, market awareness, and again, creativity. So we've got lots of information in here. It's a 10 marker. Creativity is important, P paragraph in favour. Coming back to obviously the success of Boomtown Fair. Then we think about another entrepreneurial characteristic that you find some evidence for, and maybe that one is more important or should be considered, or maybe you put a couple of them in one paragraph. Overall, is it important? Yes or no? Now, if you say that creativity is not important at all, I don't think you'll do well in this type of question, because realistically, this is a very creative case study, and there's going to be a level of importance for creativity. How you present that, you might turn around and say creativity in the early development of Boomtown was extremely important. However, now it's maintaining the advertising, it's the market awareness, it's the resilience because of licensing restrictions and economic downturn and all the logistics of organising the different events. So you could talk about this from a temporal nature, but go very careful saying it is or it isn't. It's not always that black and white. Think about this on a spectrum of importance, a bit like mass and niche market, a bit like ethnocentric, polycentric spectrum as well. So moving on, we're thinking about all of these different examples, and we're going to just get some more examples coming out of those documents. So we've talked about Boomtown, creating opportunity, market innovation. This, from what I can see, is a relatively unique perspective. The storytelling, the performances, the music, and it attracts a more niche market. If we're doing niche versus mass market, I can see by the crowd there are tens of thousands of people there, but it is more niche than just pop music. Then we've got Coachella. They're very good at getting their sponsors in. So they've got lots of different sponsors, and lots of these festivals will do the same sort of thing, but you're bringing extra revenues in, and this helps. And American Express VIP experiences. So it's so much more than just selling a ticket. You're also getting extra revenue in from your sponsors as well, which is really important, especially when there's economic downturn, or if you can't command the 300 and something quid a ticket that Glasto can. So Glastonbury, look at the rise in ticket prices. That's why they look so happy in the photo. 378 quid a ticket. Wow. If that's not a case study for PED, supply and demand of tickets, seasonality, wow, it's just, this is an event that so many people want to go to, or they would not be able to get away with charging that price. So the rolling ticket deposit system gets the funding in, and because of the demand and having the infrastructure in place, they sell out in minutes. Okay, fantastic. Now, if we're thinking about Live Nation, touring all of these different concerts, how complex it is, visa issues, Brexit came along. We could have a post-Brexit case study. I know Brexit was a while ago, but not that long ago. And when you've got a festival event company type thing that's touring, then actually you're going across international borders. So it might be that we get country as a market style question. It could literally be talking about the issues of travelling from outside of a trade bloc, where you used to be able to have free movement of people and goods. So if we think about those characteristics, we've got resilience and adaptability. Looking at the case studies, we've got Victoria Canal here, overcoming barriers, independent artists, event organiser, and rising costs of events. And when you've got the problem with rising costs and low artist fees, it's really difficult for new talent to establish themselves. So it's resilience, it's keeping it going. There was rumours about Victoria dating Tom Cruise, I believe, looking at the internet when I was trying to find a photo of her. So very well known. Not that that's anything to do with your career, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not. So the Wireless Festival, a different market segment, looking at younger audience, and they're using TikTok marketing to connect with their audience as well. So it's not just market segmentation, but it's also communicating in the way that your audience is actually viewing social media in this case. Leadership here, we've already talked about Glastonbury and how amazing that is. And there's press releases now. I didn't realise this, I don't follow Glastonbury clearly, but there's press releases, they're leaking, this might be the lineup. It's just absolutely amazing. It's building up the fever pitch of people going, oh, I wonder who's there. I wonder if I can pay £400 for a ticket next year. And we're thinking about strategic thinking here. We've got NOGA, ARES, independent artist, festival performer, and it's just really difficult there with getting the performance off the ground. So going into a new market, you've got those international collaborations to widen her audience, and just sell more music to different marketplaces where without the collaboration maybe wouldn't have that sort of wider audience appeal. So it's important that we acknowledge that there is a bit of a crossover here. Now, if you're writing essays, which you will be in paper 3 because they're all essays really, you've got to go careful with the crossover, but there's nothing wrong with saying entrepreneurial roles and obviously those characteristics are needed together depending on the question. Go very careful about getting them mixed up, but we do understand that there might be a bit of both here. So we've got innovation here, and the overlap is creating unique festival experiences or using technology, for example. Well, according to the Edexcel spec, well, this is creative thinking as well as innovation. And we've got the Boomtown example there, risk-taking versus resilience. Well, yeah, there's going to be an element of that. Decision-making and leadership and organising resources, problem solving. So all of those sorts of things, they tend to work hand in hand. They're not going to work in isolation, are they? So think about it. You'll note here, if I can find the pointer, that there's a document sign there, and that's because I used AI to cross-reference the lot and got it to put it in a table so I could talk to you about it. Now, even though this is very useful revision, you don't really need to work tremendously hard to come up with your own stuff. Why don't you come up with your own case studies, your own questions, and then I'll show you how to put together mark schemes and exemplar answers if you want to. AI is very, very good at the moment. It's getting better for things like research themes and helping you better understand. If you don't quite understand market awareness and identifying a problem, well, ask AI. It's like having a personal tutor. Anyway, hopefully that was useful. End of presentation there. But please, if I can skip back with my not well thought through plan here, please download these documents if you haven't already. They are very, very useful. There's loads of information in there, more than you need to revise this research theme. And remember, if you're struggling with a certain concept, embrace it. There's financial information in these documents. If not, go on to Companies House or charity websites and just download people's accounts and start playing with them. Okay, have a lovely day. Thank you.